economy down. It's amazing how not working can shine light on what you're working with. Dark times need enlightenment. We gotta wake up, open the blinds, pull back the covers, and get from under what's not important. No more inflated values, missed priorities, or irreconcilable divorces. Love is in need of assistance, so we need to change the system and redefine where the wealth is. Saving Wall Street don't mean nothing if we can't pay attention to what's relevant. Us, the state of you and me, is in need of more stimulation than economics. We need more investments in spiritual kisses and more intimacy between partners. You see, money is backed by gold currently, but that real currency is making this house a home for you and me, backed by what we do and how I love and respect you. Loan modifications of a house.
Hello and welcome to Cross Community Lines. My name is Latara Jones. I'll be your host for this program. And alongside with me, I have my co-host, I have Mr. Jones here. Today we have a special treat for you. We have a webinar, presenting a webinar entitled Jobs, Where They Are and How to Get One. It's just 3 parts of it, so you'll be seeing the first part right now. So this is a collaborative effort by Black Women for Positive Change, the University of Pittsburgh African American Alumni Council, and the Pittsburgh Community Television Corporation. So you'll hear from a various group of leaders, and we think, Mr. Jones?
Yes, we hope you enjoy this because this is the first of 3 segments, and it's a very important thing about seeking a job and where the jobs are. So enjoy this first segment.
To all of our webinar attendees today, we want to welcome you to Jobs, Where They Are and How to Get One. And this is being presented by Black Women for Positive Change, work in collaboration with the University of Pittsburgh African American Alumni Council and the Pittsburgh Community Television Corporation. And we welcome right now the webinar is live streamed on PCTV channel Comcast 21 and Verizon 47. And right now we're going to go live. So I have 9:59. We'll wait here and we'll begin. And we'll start with you, Mrs. Powell.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today's workshop title is Jobs, Jobs, Jobs. So if you or someone that you know is looking for a job, this is the workshop for you. Today's event can be credited to Latara Jones, who's a member of Black Women for Positive Change, and she's one of the hardest working young people that I know. But she also produces a show on PCTV, and together we collaborated and wanted to come up with an idea that may be of benefit to residents in Western Pennsylvania. As you know, all of us have been heavily impacted by the pandemic, and the job losses and income disruptions have been staggering for most families in our region. And so we thought it was important to reach out to community leaders to get some information on the types of jobs that are available today, right now, in our area. We thought it would be helpful to share resources that are available to those who are unemployed or underemployed. And so we've assembled a strong group of leaders who are able to share information with you today that hopefully will help you find gainful employment in the very near future. We thank all the leaders that gathered today to help do this workshop. And with that, I will pass the baton back to Latara Jones so that we might begin and that you can get the information that you need to get a job today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Mrs. Powell. So our next speaker will be Mr. John Patterson. He is Executive Director of the Pittsburgh Community Television Corporation. Mr. Patterson.
Thank you, Latara. I just wanted to say that we're really honored to be able to simultaneously air this program on PCTV's Channel 21 on Comcast, Channel 47 on Verizon, Also on our website at pctv21.org and Apple TV, Roku, and Fire TV. So it's really getting out there today. I just wanted to say a couple of words about PCTV and what we're all about. PCTV is a media and education center that serves Allegheny County. Our mission is to empower, educate, and enhance the community through media. We give voice to all of Pittsburgh's diverse communities through media training and the distribution of media. We have a beautiful facility over on Western Avenue on the north side. We've got 2 TV studios in there, equipment. We have professional staff. It's all available to the community, any organization or individual in Allegheny County. I always like to say that really smart people use PCTV and organizations because it's a low-cost way to professionally get your message out to the world. And I have to say that the Joneses are very smart people because they've been doing it for years. And we thank you for your service to the community. I think this program today really embodies our mission of empowering, educating, and enhancing the community through media, because that's exactly what's going to happen today over the next 2 hours. I want to invite everyone to check out what PCTV has to offer if you're not familiar with it. It's a great low-cost way to take advantage of getting your message out there. And you can learn more at pctv21.org. And with that, I'm actually going to step off this meeting and I'm going to go turn PCTV on and watch the program because I want to learn about this as well. So thank you very much for the opportunity. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Excuse my voice. And so, Mr. Patterson, Mrs. Nicole Park, she's our national president for the University of Pittsburgh African American Alumni Council. She'll be delayed, and we'll, have her offer her remarks later. What we'll do is keep moving forward with the program here. So now we have our moderator. We have the Honorable Pennsylvania State Representative Edward C. Gainey. We also have our panelists. We have Mr. Martell Covington. He's a Senate of Pennsylvania legislative aide for the Honorable Pennsylvania State Senator Jay Costa. And so he will be presenting about the legislation. And then also for the career opportunities, we have Ms. Kim McNillis. She's a senior specialty recruiter for Giant Eagle Incorporated. We also have Ms. Kara Higgins. She's a project director for PA Career Link. And then next we do have a discussion on employee assistance programs, which will be presented by Ms. Mary Jo Garcerio. She's the Director of Community Training and Development at Community College of Allegheny County. Her colleague, Ms. Michelle Tedder, who is a program manager of the HPOG program there, and also with Community College of Allegheny County. And last but not least, we do have Mr. Odell Richardson. He is Executive Director of the Pittsburgh Community Services Incorporated. So again, you're going to be receiving wonderful information. So please take it away, Representative Gainey.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing good in the city of Pittsburgh. Ms. Jones, thank you for having me today as the moderator. I appreciate it. We got a great group of panelists here. So we're going to get right to it. First up is Martell Covington. Martell, before I even ask you any questions, man, I just want to really say thank you for all you do for the community in regards to mentoring young kids, whether it's through athletics, whether it's through mentoring through schools. I know what you've done throughout your career to help kids get to the next level. So before I ask you anything about legislation, I just want to say thank you for all that you do inside the community.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Representative Gainey, for the intro and highlighting some work that I've done prior to joining the Pennsylvania Senate. I was born and raised in the area of Homewood. Before joining State Senator Jay Costa's office, I worked 8.5 years for Community Empowerment Association, which is a family business that was started in our living room in Homewood. In those 8.5 years, I worked in a lot of different capacities. Youth and family services. I did workforce development training. I did truancy prevention and reduction. Also did some special events management. So just this conversation around jobs, I've seen how they've affected the families that we work with and also the clients that I had working in workforce development training. So I'm glad to be here to be able to, help our communities out and get people back on their feet.
Great, great, great. So, you went over your bio a little bit. So we're going to get right into the questions. So, Mr. Covington, the first one is, tell us about the Honorable Pennsylvania State Senator Jay Costa's office. How did you become involved with the organization? What made you get into this line of work? And tell me what you enjoy about it.
So State Senator Jay Costa is the Democratic leader for the Pennsylvania Democratic Caucus, which is, the highest ranking member for the Senate. The 43rd district includes a lot of the east end of Pittsburgh, Penn Hills, Wilkinsburg, Oakmont, Verona, also Oakland, Squirrel Hill, and also parts of the Mile Valley, which include Rankin, Homestead, parts of Braddock, and a lot of areas out there. So we encompass a large part of Pittsburgh and the Mon Valley. Basically kind of got into the office just from some of the work that Representative Gainey highlighted me doing in the community, and Senator Costa and some individuals in his office kind of saw some of the work that I've been doing, and kind of just reached out to me, had some great conversations, and I was able to join the staff there. I've been there for a little over 2 years now. And I really enjoy it. I appreciate the work that we're able to do and just kind of connect with a lot of people on a lot of different levels.
Thank you so much. And so what services does Senator Jay Costa's office provide to his constituents? A lot of times people don't really know what state reps or state senators do. What services does Senator Costa provide to the constituents in the 43rd district?
Right. So there's actually a lot of things that we do in the office. We assist with any PennDOT issues that people may have. We've also been a hub for senior citizens to get their Port Authority Connect cards. We assist with directing people to get birth certificates and other vital documents. We also serve as liaisons between the 50 Pennsylvania state departments, which includes agriculture, revenue, additional with revenue, that's rent rebates. So we complete rent rebates for people's in our offices. And we also serve as advocates for various issues, whether it's veterans affairs or veterans rights, senior citizens, consumer affairs, you name it. We get tons of different calls in the office, but Senator Costa is one person that believes in helping everybody. So anybody that calls, we either help them or we direct them, and it doesn't matter if you are a constituent in our district or not. If you call our office, we're going to help you.
And that was great. That was great, Martel. Please discuss Senator Jay Costa's current and co-sponsored legislation. How is the legislation helping people who have been negatively impacted by COVID-19? And what is Senate Bill 12's minimum wage?
So there's a lot of legislation that Senator Costa is sponsoring and co-sponsoring, and it highlights and covers a lot of different things. One thing that I did want to highlight before we got to legislation about Senate Bill 18 is Senator Costa has been on the front lines as far as police reform goes, and developing some legislation around that, including a law enforcement use of force accountability policy, which is a major important thing. And then also hate crime prevention and victims' right package that he's working with Representative Dan Frankel on. But one of the more important pieces that I wanted to highlight was the prohibition on rent rebates to be assigned to landlords. So rent rebates are basically a tax rebate that seniors and people with disabilities are able to apply for once a year and receive those payments. So this legislation would prohibit landlords and tenants to get into agreements where the landlord will receive those monies from the Department of Revenue that would be earmarked for the tenant. So right now there are a lot of individuals that are renting that are back on rent several months right now. So this legislation kind of keeps them from being able to take that money from the property, the renter, and have some more funds in their pockets or more money in their pocket, because we know that that's important right now. So SB 12 is to raise the minimum wage to $15. If you look at states around us, They have way higher minimum wage than we do. We're still in the $7 and some change range as far as minimum wage goes. And we believe that it's important that we increase that minimum wage to a real, livable, respectable wage. You look at $7 some change. There are some people that work in fast food restaurants, and with that hourly wage, they can't even afford that full meal off the menu of the restaurant or establishment that they're working in. So Senator Costa has been supporting, in addition to Senator Tartaglione and a lot of other Senate Democrats that are trying to push to raise the minimum wage. So this has been a fight that's been going on for a couple of years, but Senator Costa continues to be at the forefront of trying to get that minimum wage raised for Pennsylvanians.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a fight. We know it's been a fight, but we know he's been in the forefront of it. So next is, what employee assistance program and career opportunities are available at the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania?
So there's the emergency assistance program, which helps low-income families who've lost wages or are dealing with financial hardships due to COVID-19 pandemic. The program uses TANF funds, and it's open to families with children under 18 or women who are currently pregnant. And families can qualify for a one-time payment to assist them with meeting their needs that they have right now, and kind of help them move forward. And this is one program, but we need many more. We have so many people that are struggling with unemployment, with receiving their unemployment benefits. So there are a lot of different initiatives that other senators are pushing forward, including State Senator Vincent Hughes out of Philadelphia, who's also, really been a big supporter in creating assistance programs for families, not just in Philly and Pittsburgh, but, Erie and Lancaster and, all the places in the middle of the state too that are struggling as well. As well as career opportunities that there are. Pennsylvania does have some employment opportunities. So if you could visit employment.pa.gov, there are a good bit of positions and several in Allegheny County, that people can apply for, but also reaching out to our office. That we receive updates about employment opportunities, and we're happy to forward those to any constituents or anybody that calls our office to assist with people finding employment at this time.
Yes. And we have a question for you, but we'll let you finish up this, then we'll get to the question. Ms. Powell has one for you. If you want more information about Jay Costa's office, how would they get in touch with you?
Okay, so to get in touch with me, I will do two things. You can first visit senatorcosta.com, and that will direct you to all of the district and capital offices, and also set up emails. More specifically, if you want to contact me, I work primarily out of our Forest Hills office. And the days there's other offices that we have an office in Homestead and Bloomfield, but I'm usually in the Forest Hills office, and the number that you can reach me at directly is 412-241-6690. And me or one of my coworkers will be glad to assist you with any questions or any issues that you may be having.
Ms. Powell?
Oh, thank you, Ed. Martel, the question I wanted to ask you was, what is happening in the way of job creation within our region, and what kinds of skill set do workers need to weigh in on or develop so that they may qualify for these positions?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that question. The Pittsburgh area and Allegheny County is kind of going through a infrastructure building or infrastructure strengthening, if you like to call it that. So I go back to my workforce development specialist training days, which was only a couple of years ago, but there's a lot of work in carpentry, blueprint development, also welding. There's a lot of calls for welders. So, individuals that like to work with their hands or be active, there's a lot of opportunities in the development space. but then also with Pittsburgh changing their space in the tech realm. So working with young people like Rep. Gainey highlighted, I've encouraged young people to kind of understand coding, to get into coding, to know how to build programs, create applications, because that's also another direction that Pittsburgh is headed in as well. So those are kind of the main two things that I believe are happening now, and we continue to happen as we see development happen in the 43rd district and outside of the district. But you have a lot of elected officials and organizations that are trying to, bring businesses here that would create a lot of different career opportunities and job opportunities for young people, as well as people that are looking to kind of transition to a new field.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
That was helpful.
Thank you, Martell. We appreciate it. Again, I'm a fan of the work that you do in the community because I see what you do with our children. And I always say if we keep our children in structured as programs, they'll grow up to live a structured as life. So I appreciate all that you do. And I just want to say thank you. Ms. Jones, do you want to say anything before we go on?
It's wonderful information. And also to Mr. Covington, if you could just elaborate more about the work that you've done with your family with Community Empowerment Association. I think it's very important for people to hear about that.
Yes, ma'am. So community empowerment started in the mid 90s amidst of, a lot of the drug and gang violence that was happening in our area, a lot in Homewood and a lot of East End areas. So my family, got started with working with creating gang peace summits and trying to, create truces between a lot of the warring factions in the East End. From that, they realized that it's important to start building with younger people and create an after-school program, which started, I believe, in 1996. Me and my sisters were some of the first kids in after-school program. So we have developed that, and we have a location in Homewood and also a site in McKeesport. So in addition to the after-school program, we still do summer programming. We do a lot of things around behavioral health, as well as the workforce development training program that I had mentioned. And we service over, 500 families in the East End and the Mon Valley year round. Community empowerment has also been at the forefront of helping with the food insecurity that's been an issue. Even before COVID-19, food insecurity has been an issue in our region, and it hasn't really been highlighted till now. But Community Empowerment Association did food giveaways and food deliveries through March through the summer, to families that needed it, to senior citizens that needed it, to veterans that needed it, and not just food, but also paper products and hygiene products as well. And also just kind of stepping into the realm of trying to be there for trauma. There are a lot of families that are dealing with trauma right now. My family is dealing with trauma right now. So we try to be there for families, for young people that are dealing with tragic sudden losses. And we see that happen a lot right now. So community empowerment's doors have always been open to young people and to families. And also another thing that we do in the summer is we're part of the Learn and Earn program. We employ young people. Some of their first summer jobs have been with us at Community Empowerment. They've been doing a lot of surveying and data collection in community, beautification projects with building gazebos and gardens, painting murals, a lot of different stuff. So, Community Empowerment always has its doors open to support anybody in any way that we can help them. I hope that kind of gave you all a overview of CEA.
That was great. So next up, we have Miss Kiera Higgins, who is the project director for PA Career Links. So
Representative Gaines, we have Ms. Kim McNillis from John Eagle.
Okay, I'm sorry. It has her second, so I apologize. Ms. Kim, how you doing today? I apologize. Kim entered the world of recruiting in 1999. After 5 years of working as a recreational therapist, her recruiting career includes a blend of agency, contingency, and retained and corporate experience with companies like Merck and PricewaterhouseCoopers. The last 8 years of her recruiting career has integrated with her first career, recreational therapy. By placing a focus on inclusion and diversity, her passion to impact and make a positive difference in people's lives has become possible through the sourcing and hiring of people with different abilities, military and veteran, and all underrepresented talent across several businesses several business lines. Kim earned her bachelor's degree from Temple University in recreational therapy and master's degree in elementary school guidance counseling from Westchester University. Congratulations. Kim resides in Collegeville, PA with her two-year-old chocolate Labrador retriever, Willow. She teaches yoga, floor and aerial, volunteers for the local dog rescue where she adopted Willow from, and enjoys hiking, traveling the globe to immerse herself in new cultures and reading mystery books. Ms. Kim?
Wow, thank you, Representative Gainey. I didn't realize you were going to read that about me. That's really nice. Thank you so much. Thank you, Latara Jones, for facilitating all of this. You do a beautiful job with that. Thank you so much, and everybody for being here. It's wonderful to have you all. So yeah, Giant Eagle, we're hiring. We're an essential business. If you haven't noticed that in the last year, it's something that we all took for granted. The simple pleasures of life, like toilet paper and hand sanitizer and things like that. So being an essential business, Giant Eagle, we have our grocery stores throughout Pittsburgh, of course, as you know, and hopefully most of you guys visit our stores. We have the market districts now, which are gorgeous, beautiful. I call them the Disney World of our food stores. And inside those, we have our pharmacies. We're going to begin to offer the COVID-19 vaccinations soon. So those are exciting things that we're offering. The community, and I know you were talking about Martel, about food insecurity, so we're working on that as well, and offering opportunities to provide food to areas that don't have access to it as easily. And we have a lot of employment opportunities right now. We just opened a lot of our corporate roles recently. So we have so many jobs, like the curbside delivery pickup has gone just blown out of proportion. And so we have if you like to shop, come on in and shop and get paid for it, and doing curbside delivery type of opportunities. They do typically want people to be able to work on weekends though, and in the morning hours typically. And then we have, warehouse workers, warehouse selector positions right now. We're hiring so many for our corporate offices. We're hiring a lot of project managers. We're opening up our an online e-commerce marketplace. So a lot of IT people. Usually we need people with experience in IT though. It's difficult to get in as a junior level person, but we do have several opportunities for leadership and development programs, and also for internships. We're hiring a lot of interns in marketing, also in our stores, store leader development programs, and we are training. We'll train folks on those areas. So I do have a PowerPoint. I know, I don't know if Latara, if you're able to give me access to go through that, if you can make me a co-host so I can share my screen and do that.
Oh, 4 minutes. 1 second, 1 minute.
Okay.
Let me see.
Would you like for me to go through the questions first, or just let her do
you have
PowerPoint
specific
first?
questions. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what positions do you currently have open at Giant Eagle?
Yeah. Oh, so yes, I was discussing, and in my PowerPoint will also show that, but I can actually share this too with you all later. But we specifically have fresh food production technicians. So in the fresh food area, responsible for creating the soup production kitchen and the cold room area, like salads. So when somebody's going into the store and there's these prepared salads or subs, they are doing that in this fresh food manufacturing area. Our cold room shifts are 4 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m., 10 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. That sounds wrong, 10 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. probably. There's hot room shifts, which are 6:25 a.m. to 4:45 p.m., 4:30 p.m. to 2:30 a.m., and 6 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. There's a 90-day evaluation period, and we do need folks to be able to work all the different shifts, to have some flexibility with that. It is a 40-hour work week, and you do qualify for benefits after 60 days. So those are a lot of opportunities that we have there. We also have, obviously the cashier roles, stock clerks, prepare foods clerk, deli clerk, personal shopper, as I mentioned earlier, the sanitizer, people who do the sanitizing of the carts. And then in our corporate offices, because it takes a lot of people behind the scenes making this a possibility, is we do accounting and finance. We have some junior accounting roles right now. Digital commerce, as I mentioned, because we're opening an online e-commerce marketplace soon this year. Distribution and logistics. I'm hiring some project managers right now in our distribution area. Human resources, we're actually hiring some recruiters. So if anybody, that's a great way to kind of get into corporate in an entry-level position. In information technology, legal, marketing, merchandising, somebody who's going to help with purchasing our products for us, real estate and store planning. Retail, pharmacy operations, the safety and risk management people, and then sourcing for our vendors that we hire from, that we purchase from. So many opportunities, more than just what you see in the face value in the stores.
Thank you. What
And
knowledge?
Representative Danny, I have
Oh,
a
yeah.
comment. Ms. McNeils, we'll share your PowerPoint presentation with the media attendees after our webinar.
Sure, that works, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
What knowledge, skills, and ability are you seeking in job candidates? I think you went over that a little bit, so I'll move to the next one as well. If a job candidate has experience and does not have a bachelor's degree, will they be considered for a position by hiring as a manager? And is there any opportunity for people to work at home?
Yes, and yes, and yes. Yeah, all the above. So we don't typically all the time require a bachelor's degree, which is really great for a lot of our roles. However, some of the more director, like executive director roles, they do want somebody with a bachelor's degree. And also like equivalent experience. And then our corporate roles, yeah, work from home. Yeah, Giant Eagle made a huge decision a few months after the pandemic. They decided not to renew our lease on our corporate offices. They shut down the corporate offices indefinitely, sold off the office equipment, sold off our furniture. We are all working 100% remote. And we have some touchdown spaces if the teams want to meet, but those spaces are very limited. And of course, following those regulations that we do with COVID-19 regulations. So it's not common that we're meeting in person at this point. So now we're hiring people all across the US, which is really fantastic because it's really opening up the pool of talent that we can hire.
Good. I have to do some paperwork. Martell's going to take over, and I should be back within the next 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes, okay? Martell, thank you.
Thanks for
All right. So I'll be our acting moderator for the next 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. So next question for you is, once a candidate applies for a position, what is your internal process for reviewing the resumes for the open position that you are seeking to fill?
Yeah. So typically, a recruiter is going to review the application, and we just started a new program called HireView. HireView is a video interview. So if the recruiter reviews your application, they go, okay, I think this person looks like they're a good match for the need that we have, then they'll send an electronic email, inviting the person to do a video interview. It's called HireView, and you can do this at any time in the comfort of your home or wherever you're most comfortable. And you could do it on your cell phone, even your mobile phone, on a laptop, whichever you have. And it does give you that flexibility to interview at your time. One tip I would strongly recommend, because I tested it on my own to see how it was, if you request an accommodation on the interview, it allows you more time to come up with a response to the question. So for instance, if you don't ask for an accommodation, you have 30 seconds to devise a response in your head, and then you click record, and then you have 2 minutes to answer the question. So it's kind of like if you were in person though, like you're asking me a question, I'm like, okay, like I'm going to have to come up with some response to you within like a few moments, but here it gives you time if you ask for an accommodation, and I highly recommend doing this. You can read the question, you can write down your response of like how you want to respond. I highly recommend keeping it concise, like keep it short, keep it sweet, less is more. Even though I get verbose myself though. So I would recommend, and then you can have your script in front of you and like put it right on your computer if you can. And then it doesn't look like you're reading, and like practice it and then respond to the answer when you click record. And then you'll have it sounding all clear and concise. That's my suggestion, my tip there. And then after so one of us reviews your higher view video after you do your video. And then at that point, they'll call you and schedule like a quick, just to kind of review your higher view responses and ask you some maybe follow-up quick questions. And then at that point, they will extend an offer and then get you through the background. We use an applicant tracking system that's very electronic based. So everything's being sent electronically. You're like signing electronically and filling out forms electronically. And it's a pretty simple process. A lot of times we're actually in the process of removing the requirement of a drug screen. We're working on that. So we did kind of test that out a little bit because we feel like that's limiting people. And we're not asking in advance any longer about people's backgrounds, criminal backgrounds. We don't ask that beforehand. So we're trying to eliminate any kind of potential bias in the process, which I think is really great. And then offers extended, person accepts, and then they come in for orientation and they start and they join the team.
You kind of answered one of my questions. Was going to ask about opportunities for ex-offenders, but you've definitely answered that. So, we're glad to know that. I think a lot of times people with records are afraid to apply certain places because they don't, know what happens if they, have to answer a question. So we're glad to know that. Another question is, how long does the process take overall? I know it might differ for certain people, but generally, how long, is the window for the process?
Well, for the hourly workers, the people who are in the stores, we're hiring on the spot. So if you go on our career site, I recommend checking it out. Like last week, we had a lot of face-to-face career events where they hire on the spot. So, you have like a 20-minute conversation, maybe even less with somebody, and they're like hired, like as long as, you present it, like you can do the job and you have that, energy and enthusiasm for it. So those jobs get hired quickly. The corporate roles can take a little longer, probably I would say up to a month sometimes or so, sometimes a little longer. But if you have patience, it's a worthwhile process.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Jobs.gianteagle.com is the website where people could visit to see the job openings. We want to thank you for joining our panel this morning and give us some information about all the great things that Giant Eagle is doing. And we're going to move on to our next panelist at this time. But thank you very much.
Thanks, Martel. My pleasure.
Next up, we have Ms. Higgins of Dynamic Workforce Solutions. She is the project director of the PA CareerLink downtown Pittsburgh office in association with Partners for Work. A Pittsburgh native, here as a graduate of the University of Pittsburgh, an alumna of Kappa Kappa Gamma, and also has earned a master's degree from Duquesne University. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I want to thank everyone, Ms. Jones, for putting this together. I think this is essential for the atmosphere that we have all found ourselves in. So I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. So we'll get right to the questions. Can you tell us about PA CareerLink and how you became involved with this organization?
Sure. So PA CareerLink is your one-stop shop for employment, training, and education services. We say one stop because we are here to serve you, to be connected to opportunities, employment, and any services that you need. If we don't offer it, we know how to get you connected to what it is that you need. As far as me, well, the best kept secret in the CareerLink system is that the teams are divided into two sections. So there is career services, and then there are business services. These teams work together to connect individuals to opportunities and organizations across the region. In Pittsburgh and Allegheny County, there are two offices, one in the downtown Pittsburgh and one in Forest Hills on Ardmore Boulevard. Yes, both brick and mortar offices are closed, but we have effectively and graciously, with the support of Partner for Work and other community organizations, completely transition to virtual services. So our offices are closed, but we are not. Our service delivery model, it can be done over various platforms. We have successfully been able to make sure that the services that we offer and what everyone needs is available. Myself, I joined the CareerLink team 5 years ago as a recruiter. So I guess that answers a little bit of a question. What do recruiters do? As a recruiter, it's your part of the business services team. It's your job to connect job seekers to employment. So if you're a job seeker watching and you just heard Ms. McNellis talk about Giant and you're like, I'm never going to remember that. We have those conversations with Giant Eagle. We have those conversations with Amazon. We have them with UPMC. So we know that information for you. That's part of what we do. To be not only your resource, but only your advocate. So we can answer those questions for you about how long the interview process takes. What are you going to be doing? So that's what I did as a recruiter. And then over time, transitioned to the business services manager, which is where I built, as part of the leader of that team, I built relationships with employers, strategic relationships alongside Partner for Work to understand the landscape of employment in the region and also what are employers looking for. My secret and what I always tell people is why you want to work with CareerLink is because we say, I know what your job description says, but what are you really looking for? And that is how we guide job seekers through the journey of whether it's a transition in a career or re-entering the job market, whether you were a stay-at-home mom taking care of a family member or literal re-entry from a time of incarceration.
All right, well, thank you for that. In the time right now of the pandemic and a lot of things being online, how are you preparing workers who have been furloughed due to COVID-19, do a virtual job interview or work remotely?
So it's like my favorite question because I'm so happy. And it's like my other question, it's like, what are we so happy about? But what am I so happy about? It's our ability, it's been our ability to transition and make that shift, if you will. You no longer can come into a CareerLink office to work with somebody. So in working with us and engaging with us, whether it's via the phone, you're sharpening your telephone skills and your ability to communicate. We have trainings on how to access Zoom, Microsoft Teams, WebEx, all the platforms, right? So, it's those kind of things in your preferred method to interact or to engage with CareerLink. We are available to do it across all platforms. So there's that. Oh, I'm sorry. I knew that was going to happen as soon as I was unmuted. My 6-pound monster was going to start barking at something, so I apologize. We also have transitioned from in-person classroom setting workshops and training and employment recruiting events to all virtual. In the PA CareerLink system, we have something called the PA CareerLink Learning Hub, which is a virtual platform, LMS system, if you will, where all of our workshops have been either pre-recorded or they are available live for individuals to watch and educate themselves. We also have Skills Build, which is an initiative with Partner for Work and IBM, which has learning channels and platforms where individuals, job seekers can earn badges and share them on their LinkedIn profiles. We have a myriad of virtual resources available for individuals, and how you get those, right? You're like, oh, I want to do something. The first thing you can do is go to CareerLinkPittsburgh jobswheretheyareandhowtogetOnePart1.com. And there are links to all of those things. And then I know there's a question about how you get in contact with me. I will also give that to you, and we will make sure that Representative Gainey's team and Senator Jay Costa's team has all of this information and how you get to me, my team, or connect with the Career Link system in general. One of the best things, and I think of the most important thing that we have dedicated ourselves to do as a Career Link system, is empower individuals to be able to demonstrate what have you been doing or how have you been working to improve or to prepare to return to work. Those of us on this call are fortunate that we are working, but like you said, Mr. Covington, we too are also experiencing, struggles and hurdles that we have to address as we go. Our best advice, our strongest advice that we give to people is, we understand that everybody's life has been impacted. Parents are now being teachers. You have been laid off to no fault of your own, but empower them to make decisions and allocate resources available to them to be able to speak to what you've done. If you are an attendee on here and you go to a job interview, you want to say that you attended a webinar on jobs, where are they and how do I get them? As someone who recruits, trains, and hires, that's a question that I ask. I'm sure that's what Giant Eagle asks. I'm sure that's what every organization asks. How are you doing? That question is such a deeper question now to ask, but empower yourself to say, I attended virtual workshops. I read books on how to develop technical skills. I enrolled in an online course that was free. Those type of things those are the resources and the educational tips on hand that we try to provide and connect people to in this new virtual space.
Thank you for that robust answer, Ms. Hicks. Mrs. Powell has a question for you. Mrs. Powell?
Thank you. I'll be brief since time is of the essence, but I wondered what type of support do you offer for workers that have disabilities?
So PIA Career Link is part of a consortium, and we partner with, PIA Career Link is not just the one-stop office that most people are familiar with. Part of our partnerships are with Literacy Pittsburgh and OVR. So if you say you were to come or call nowadays, right, the Career Link office, and you say, I am looking for work, but I have, a certain disability or a certain type of barrier to employment. If it is not in our verbose to address that accurately, we have connections with OVR to connect you and to get you that support. Across Career Link, so myself who oversees WIOA and Title I, I'm in constant communication with the director of OVR, and we could be working with the same employer. We could be both working with Giant Eagle. We're hosting recruitment events for farm tech and curbside ongoing, right? But then the OVR team is having those deeper conversations about how to accommodate maybe an individual that just attended a recruitment event via Title I or via the Career Link office, but additional supports are needed. So we are there to connect, and we support those to how to discuss your barrier or your disability to, empower them to say it's not going to hinder you from anything. Just be comfortable in articulating what it is that you need or what it is that you are coming to an employer with, whether it be a background or, other type of barrier.
Thank you. Thank you. This has been a wonderful presentation, so we appreciate you being here today. I hope our audience finds this information helpful. I certainly have learned a lot.
Mr. Covington, I do have a question for Mrs. Higgins.
Okay.
Ms. Higgins, could you please go over the WIOA, the Workforce Opportunity Innovation Act, to explain the funding, because that'll help people. Mm-hmm.
Sure. So WIOA is a federal funded program that is for young adults and adults. In terms of the PA Career Link office, we offer, in that funding, we offer employment and training services that are free to the job seeker and to employer. So we bring you together. We help individuals address barriers if they are employment, childcare, driver's licenses, birth certificates, with certain income, regulations, dislocated workers. It's really tough to explain, but there are funds available to individuals in their employment journey. All you have to do is reach out. You don't have to say WHEELA. You don't have to say WHEELA. So the Workforce Opportunities Act is not something that you have to know. Just know that CareerLink and the services we provide behind that, or in our service delivery, are funds available for you. Some of the supportive services we offer are typically, bus passes. You can't get to work. If you are enrolled in our services and working with either the business services or career services team, we can provide you a bus pass to get to work. With Partner for Work, we've had initiatives with, Uber and Lyft that we would give you codes to pay for your rides. If you get into an apprenticeship program via the Builders Guild, or the iron workers, or the plumbers and steel workers, and you need boots, we have services available to help you get to work, right? There are requirements to start a job, whether it's a driver's license or things like that. But also, individuals can qualify up to $5,000 for training in a designated career path. So there are tons of services and resources available. To find out information about that, again, you can go to careerlinkpittsburgh.org, and there's a training tab. There's also an employment tab, and connect with career services, and they can guide you through the process to connect to whatever it is that you may need, and let you know if you qualify for funding.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
That was excellent. Thank you so much, Ms. Higgins. We appreciate you joining us this morning to provide a lot of information of the great things that PA CareerLinks are doing.
Thank you so much. We hope that you enjoyed. This is the first of 3 segments of our program, and we're hoping that you will continue after this program to get the second installment. So thank you so much for watching it. Ms. Jones?
Surely. So you'll hear the second part of the webinar entitled Jobs, Where They Are and How to Get One. So we hope that you receive great information, so far from our first segment, and now you'll continue to receive additional information with our second segment. Thank you.
With the economy down, it's amazing how not working can shine light on what you're working with. Dark times need enlightenment. We gotta wake up, open the blinds, pull back the covers, and get from under what's not important. No more inflated values, missed priorities, or irreconcilable divorces. Love is in need of assistance, so we need to change the system and redefine where the wealth is. Saving Wall Street don't mean nothing if we can't pay attention to what's relevant. Us, the state of you and me, is in need of more stimulation than economics. We need more investments in spiritual kisses and more intimacy between partners. You see, money is backed by gold currently, but that real currency is making this house a home for you and me, backed by what we do and how I love and respect you. Loan modifications are for houses, but there's no foreclosures on this home. We own this, no loan on this. You're my 401k, my retirement, everything I own invested in your feelings. Wide awake and sleeping with my future on this. It'll take more than a depression to hold down elevated consciousness. I just pray that kindred souls everywhere are able to bear witness and feel this. With the economy down, it's amazing how not working can shine light on what you're working with. Dark times need enlightenment. We gotta wake up, open the blinds, pull back the covers, and get from under what's not important. No more inflated values, missed priorities, or irreconcilable divorces. Love is in need of assistance, so we need to change the system and redefine where the wealth is. Saving Wall Street don't mean nothing if we can't pay attention to what's relevant. Us, the state of you and me, is in need of more stimulation than economics. We need more investments in spiritual kisses and more intimacy between partners. You see, money is backed by gold currently, but that real currency is making this house a home for you and me, backed by what we do and how I love and respect you. Loan modifications are for houses, but there's no foreclosures on this home. We own this, no loan on this. You're my 401k, my retirement. Everything I own invested in your feelings. Wide awake and sleeping with my future on this. It'll take more than a depression to